Imagine reaching into a jar of old coins, pulling out a worn Lincoln penny, and discovering that the tiny copper coin in your hand could be worth an astonishing $2.6 million. It sounds impossible. It sounds like the kind of story collectors tell late at night at coin shows. But sometimes the most valuable treasures are not locked away in museum vaults. Sometimes they are hiding in ordinary places, mixed in with spare change, forgotten in desk drawers, tucked into old piggy banks, or buried inside coin collections that have not been touched for decades. And today, we are talking about one of the most fascinating modern coins that continues to capture the imagination of collectors across America, the 1995 D Lincoln penny. At first glance, there is nothing extraordinary about it. Millions of Americans have handled one. Millions have spent one without a second thought. The coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It looks like just another penny among countless others. But appearances can be deceiving. For years, collectors have searched through rolls of pennies hoping to find hidden treasures. Most searches end in disappointment. Yet every once in a while, someone finds something remarkable. A rare error. A unique variety. A coin with characteristics that separate it from the billions of ordinary pieces struck by the United States Mint. The idea that a single penny could transform from a 1-cent coin into a collector's dream worth thousands, tens of thousands, or even more is what keeps people searching. The story begins in 1995, a year when the American economy was growing, technology was rapidly changing everyday life, and millions of Lincoln cents were pouring out of the nation's minting facilities. One of those facilities was the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark found beneath the date on Lincoln cents. The Denver Mint produced enormous numbers of pennies that year. Most entered circulation and lived completely ordinary lives. They passed from hand to hand, traveled through cash registers, and accumulated scratches and wear over time. Yet hidden among those countless coins were examples that would eventually attract serious attention from collectors. What makes a coin valuable is often not age. Many people assume old coins are automatically worth money. In reality, rarity, condition, and unusual characteristics often matter far more than age itself. And that is where the mystery begins. Collectors examining 1995 D Lincoln cents started noticing certain coins that looked different from the norm. Tiny details appeared unusual. Certain striking characteristics stood out. Some examples displayed features that generated excitement within the collecting community. As word spread, more people began checking their pennies. Suddenly, an ordinary coin became the center of an extraordinary hunt. Now imagine sitting at your kitchen table with a magnifying glass. A pile of pennies sits before you. Most are common. Most are worth exactly 1 cent. But somewhere in that pile could be a coin that collectors desperately want to examine. That possibility is enough to make any collector's heart race. First, look at the date. The coin must display 1995. Next, check beneath the date for the D mint mark. This indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Then inspect the coin carefully under strong lighting. Pay close attention to the lettering, the numbers, Lincoln's portrait, and the overall strike quality. Condition is absolutely critical. A heavily worn coin may be interesting, but collectors pay the highest prices for coins that appear nearly untouched. Sharp details, original surfaces, and strong luster can dramatically increase value. Many people overlook this fact. 2 coins may have the same date and mint mark, but one might be worth a few cents while the other could command a substantial premium because of its condition. That difference can mean everything. Imagine 2 collectors examining identical-looking pennies. One notices a subtle detail that others miss. A tiny characteristic separates an ordinary coin from a desirable collectible. Suddenly, the room changes. What was once pocket change becomes a serious discovery. Stories like this have fueled the coin collecting hobby for generations. There are collectors who spend years searching through bankrolls. Some search flea markets. Others inherit jars filled with old coins from parents and grandparents. Most never expect to find anything valuable. Then one day it happens. A date catches their eye. A mint mark looks promising. A rare characteristic appears under magnification. And in an instant, a forgotten penny becomes the highlight of an entire collection. The emotional power of these discoveries cannot be overstated. Every collector dreams of finding the coin everyone else overlooked. Every collector imagines the moment when years of patience finally pay off. And that dream is exactly why Lincoln cents remain among the most searched coins in America. They are accessible. They are familiar. And they still circulate in surprising numbers. Think about that for a moment. Valuable collectibles often seem out of reach. Rare paintings hang in galleries. Historic artifacts sit behind glass. Luxury items require enormous wealth. But pennies are different. Anyone can search them. Anyone can learn. Anyone can become the person who spots something special. That possibility creates excitement unlike almost any other hobby. Now let's look even closer at identification. When examining a 1995D Lincoln penny, use a quality magnifier. Look for unusual doubling in design elements. Study the letters carefully. Examine the date. Check Lincoln's profile. Search for anything that appears different from a standard coin. Collectors often compare suspected varieties against known examples. The smallest detail can make a significant difference. Patience matters. Rushing through a coin search can cause valuable discoveries to be missed. Some collectors spend hours studying only a handful of coins. Others search thousands before finding something noteworthy. Persistence is part of the journey. And sometimes persistence leads to unforgettable rewards. Imagine opening an old family coin collection that has remained untouched for 20 years. Dust covers the box. The coins inside have not been examined in decades. Most people would see nothing more than old change. But a knowledgeable collector sees possibilities. Each coin represents a mystery. Each date tells a story. Each mint mark offers a clue. Somewhere among those coins could be a remarkable survivor from 1995. A coin preserved in exceptional condition. A coin carrying characteristics collectors seek. A coin that transforms an ordinary afternoon into an unforgettable moment. This is why coin collecting continues to inspire people across generations. It combines history, patience, knowledge, and hope. Hope that the next coin examined will reveal something extraordinary. Hope that hidden value still exists in everyday places. Hope that one discovery could change everything. And while claims of a $2.6 million penny capture attention and fuel excitement, the true lesson is that valuable coins are often found by people willing to learn what to look for. Knowledge creates opportunity. The more carefully you study your coins, the better your chances of recognizing something unusual. Every expert collector started as a beginner. Every major discovery began with curiosity. Every valuable coin was once overlooked by someone. That fact alone should inspire anyone holding a handful of old pennies. The next time you receive change from a store, don't ignore those coins. The next time you find a forgotten jar of pennies, don't assume it contains nothing special. The next time you encounter a 1995D Lincoln penny, take a closer look. Check the date. Confirm the D mint mark. Inspect the details. Study the condition. Search for unusual characteristics. Because treasures often hide where nobody thinks to look. And sometimes the most ordinary objects carry the most extraordinary possibilities. Collectors understand this better than anyone. They know that history does not always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it hides in plain sight for years before the right person finally notices. Maybe that person is you. Maybe the next remarkable discovery is sitting quietly among your spare change. Maybe the penny everyone else ignored is the one you've been searching for all along. After all, millions of coins pass through American hands every day, but only a small number attract the attention of dedicated collectors. The challenge is knowing which ones deserve a second look. That challenge is what makes the hunt exciting. That excitement is what keeps collectors searching year after year. And that search continues every single day in homes across the country. Because somewhere, hidden among ordinary pennies, another remarkable coin is waiting to be discovered. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Imagine reaching into a jar of old coins, pulling out a penny you've ignored for years, and discovering that it could be worth an astonishing $2.7 million. It sounds impossible. It sounds like the kind of story people tell but never actually experience. Yet history has proven again and again that rare coins can hide in the most ordinary places. Old coffee cans, kitchen drawers, forgotten piggy banks, boxes stored in attics for decades. And among the billions of pennies struck in America, one coin continues to spark excitement among collectors who dream of finding a life-changing treasure. The 1997D Lincoln penny. Most people see a penny and think of a single cent something too small to matter. something that gets tossed into a cup holder or left behind on a countertop. But experienced collectors know a secret. The most valuable coins often look ordinary at first glance. Their true value is hidden in tiny details that most people never notice. The story begins in 1997 at the Denver Mint in Colorado. Millions upon millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off the presses that year. They entered circulation and spread across the country. They passed through grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, banks, and vending machines. Most of them were completely normal. But every now and then, something unusual happened during the minting process. A mistake. A rare variation. An error that transformed an everyday coin into something collectors desperately wanted to own. Imagine the noise inside the mint. Massive machines striking coins at incredible speed. Metal blanks moving through production lines. Workers focused on maintaining efficiency. Under those conditions, even a tiny error could create a coin unlike any other. Those rare mistakes sometimes escaped detection and entered circulation. Years later, collectors began examining 1997 Lincoln pennies more closely. They searched through rolls from banks. They checked jars of spare change. They studied coins under magnification. What they found fueled a growing fascination. Before understanding why these coins attract so much attention, you need to know how to identify a 1997 Lincoln penny. Start by looking at the date on the front of the coin. You should see 1997 beneath Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Next, look for the small letter D located beneath the date. That D indicates the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Now comes the important part. Examine every detail carefully. Collectors pay special attention to unusual characteristics. Look at the lettering. Check the numbers in the date. Study Lincoln's portrait. Inspect the rim. Search for doubling, where letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated. Look for off-center strikes. Watch for die cracks, die chips, and other minting anomalies. At first, everything may seem normal, but that's exactly how valuable discoveries happen. The rarest coins don't announce themselves. They wait patiently for someone observant enough to recognize them. Imagine finding a penny with clear doubling visible in the lettering. Suddenly, what seemed ordinary becomes extraordinary. Collectors understand that genuine mint errors are far scarcer than standard coins. Scarcity drives demand, and demand drives value. But here's where the mystery deepens. Many valuable coins spent years circulating unnoticed. They passed through countless hands. They bought cups of coffee. They sat inside cash registers. They traveled across states and cities. Nobody realized their potential. Nobody stopped to inspect them. Nobody imagined that a coin worth 1 cent could someday command thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That possibility keeps collectors searching. Some spend weekends sorting through old penny rolls. Others buy estate collections hoping to uncover forgotten treasures. Every coin examined carries a small spark of hope. Because somewhere, hidden among ordinary cents, a remarkable rarity could still be waiting. Now let's talk about condition. Condition can make an enormous difference in value. Two identical coins can have dramatically different prices depending on preservation. A heavily worn penny might be worth very little, while an exceptionally preserved example can command astonishing premiums. When examining a 1997 Lincoln penny, look for strong original details. Check Lincoln's hair. Observe the sharpness of the lettering. Notice whether the surfaces retain their original luster. The fewer marks and scratches present, the better. Professional grading services evaluate coins using detailed standards. Coins receiving the highest grades are especially desirable because so few survive in pristine condition. Collectors compete aggressively for top-quality examples. Think about that for a moment. A coin produced decades ago survives untouched in remarkable condition. It avoids damage. It escapes wear. It remains nearly perfect while millions of others become scratched and worn. That combination of rarity and preservation creates excitement throughout the collecting community. Now imagine finding one yourself. You open a forgotten box from a family member. Inside sits an old container filled with pennies. You begin sorting through them one by one. Most are common. Some are interesting. Then suddenly you spot the date. 1997. Beneath it, the tiny D mint mark. Your heart starts racing. You grab a magnifying glass. You inspect every detail. Stories like that happen more often than many people realize. Valuable coins have been discovered in inherited collections, garage sales, flea markets, and everyday pocket change. The people who found them weren't always experts. Many were ordinary individuals who simply took the time to look carefully. That's one reason coin collecting remains so popular. It combines history, treasure hunting, and education into a single hobby. Every coin tells a story. Every date represents a different moment in American history. The Lincoln cent itself has a fascinating legacy. Introduced in 1909, it became one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. Generations of Americans carried Lincoln pennies in their pockets. Children saved them in jars. Parents taught their value. Collectors assembled complete sets spanning decades. Within that long history, certain dates, varieties, and eras became legendary. Their values climbed as collectors competed to own them. Suddenly, humble pennies gained extraordinary significance. The 1997 D Lincoln penny continues to attract attention because collectors understand that hidden varieties and exceptional examples can generate tremendous interest. The search never ends. New discoveries continue to emerge as more coins are examined. Take a closer look at your own collection. Check every 1997 D penny you encounter. Use good lighting. Use magnification. Patience is essential. Most coins will be ordinary, but treasure hunters know that success often arrives after countless searches. Every valuable discovery begins with someone willing to look when others don't. And remember, even if a coin doesn't turn out to be worth a fortune, the process itself can be rewarding. You learn history. You sharpen observation skills. You connect with a community of collectors who share the same excitement. Still, the dream remains alive. The dream of finding a coin worth far more than its face value. The dream of uncovering a rarity hidden in plain sight. The dream of transforming a simple penny into a life-changing discovery. Imagine showing a coin expert a penny you've carried around for years. Imagine hearing the words every collector hopes to hear. Imagine learning that your ordinary-looking cent possesses a rare characteristic that sets it apart from millions of others. That possibility is why collectors keep searching. That possibility is why old jars of pennies continue to be examined. That possibility is why stories of remarkable discoveries capture the imagination of people across America. Because somewhere out there, a rare coin is still waiting to be found. Maybe it's buried in a forgotten collection. Maybe it's sitting in a bankroll. Maybe it's mixed in with loose change at the bottom of a drawer. And maybe, just maybe, the next great discovery belongs to someone watching this video. So before you ignore another penny, take a second look. Check the date. Find the mint mark. Study the details. Learn what makes certain coins special. The difference between 1 cent and a fortune can sometimes come down to a tiny detail most people never notice. Collectors have spent decades proving that extraordinary treasures can hide in ordinary places. That's what makes this hobby so exciting. Every coin holds a possibility. Every search holds potential. Every discovery starts with curiosity. The next time you receive change, don't rush past it. Examine it carefully. That single moment of attention could reveal something remarkable. A rare variety. A valuable error. A collector's dream hiding in plain sight. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.